Downtown Detroit, home of WDIV and Click on Detroit. Local 4 News at 5 starts now.
Students heading back into Detroit schools tomorrow after spending a year mostly online. Coming up, what they should expect when that first bell rings tomorrow morning.
Big changes coming for thousands here in Michigan collecting unemployment. I'm Hank Winchester. Help me, Hank. I'll break it all down coming up.
Okay, Hank, but we begin with new developments in the Flat Rock chemical spill as the efforts to get people out of the voluntary evacuation zone continue. Teams are going door to door in areas where experts recommend people leave.
The state is still monitoring the hazardous fumes caused by the gas leak at Ford's Flat Rock assembly plant. Officials have canceled this weekend's Flat Rock Riverfest because of the ongoing state of emergency. Hotel vouchers now being handed out at the Flat Rock Community High School. Rod Maloney is live in Flat Rock with the very latest for us. Rod?
Yeah, good afternoon, Sandra. We're out here at the corner of Tamarack and Aspen in Flat Rock, where they're just in the last hour, a group of volunteers has come in here to try and help residents understand that they probably need to be packing up and heading off to a hotel. The problem we're finding out, though, is that they're a bit short-handed on the ground here.
So we'll take this side of the street. Okay. So.
Half a dozen United Way volunteers spread out across the neighborhood in the first of 2 evacuation zones. Only about half the homes have been visited so far. They're offering residents flyers with health information and details about the evacuation assistance available, including free hotel stays and care packages. United Way Vice President Shelley Watts told Local 4 she could use a whole lot more help.
We get it, it's Labor Day weekend and everyone is trying to enjoy their time off, but we really need volunteers.
One of those who evacuated her family to a Southgate hotel is Vicki Smothers.
Obviously inconvenient, but I think the city has been handling it as best they can. All the volunteers have been great.
We'll support you.
There is a command center at Flat Rock City Hall where local, state, and federal emergency responders set up shop. This all started last Wednesday when a gasoline tank used to supply gas to the new Mustangs coming off the line leaked at the Ford Flat Rock assembly plant, the gas spilling into the wastewater sewer lines. There are vacuum trucks pulling gasoline out of the sewers near the plant, and air monitoring equipment is everywhere. Flat Rock Fire Chief James Katona tells us the fire department is helping in this area as well.
We're out flushing hydrants down into the storm sewers to move the product down to the wastewater treatment facility in Brownstown Township, who are aware that it's coming.
Now, the picture you just saw of the gentleman putting his dog in the car, he had just evacuated his family and came back for the dogs. They do have dog-friendly hotels that they can bring the families to. They got about 6 days in those hotels, and it is one of those situations in the neighborhood where a lot of people are concerned where they have readings that show that they have the benzene. Other houses, they're not so concerned because they don't have the readings, and so it's kind of a hit or miss thing about people actually doing the evacuation. Back to you.
Yeah, and we mentioned earlier, Rod, that Ford is actually owning up to the problem. Have they had similar problems, situations like this elsewhere?
Yeah, there was one in Metro Detroit a couple of years back, and we'll be talking about that in our story and the update on this coming up on Local 4 News at 6.
All right, we'll see you at 6. Thanks, Rod. So if your child hasn't gone back to school just yet, tomorrow is likely the day. This year, school districts will face some new challenges as they try to keep students safe and also in the classroom.
That's right. Grant Herms is looking into what students can expect for the first day. He joins us live from the Detroit Lions Academy on the city's east side. Grant.
Well, we know in Metro Detroit counties, at least 5 of them, masks will be required. And here in Detroit, at schools like Detroit Lions Academy, they've been working to make in-person learning safer this year. But that new variant that is affecting many more children than we saw last fall is fueling this new jump in cases, and it could not have come at a worse time. As Detroit's 53,000 students head back to school, the pandemic is back in full swing. According to the district, there were at least 20 cases reported in the last week, more than half from face-to-face learning in schools. Those cases mean 55 students and staff have already been forced into quarantine, most notably an outbreak on the Renaissance High School football team, where a dozen players have tested positive, several teachers saying they weren't informed by the district. In a statement, a district spokesperson saying players were tested and quarantined before staff reported to work this week. Effective Tuesday, any and all positive cases and/or outbreaks will be communicated to all staff and families at any individual school. This was our communication protocol last year. But Detroit has been working to strengthen COVID precautions, upgrading and repairing ventilation systems in older buildings to meet CDC requirements since the end of last school year, also receiving a record amount of funding from both the state and federal governments, getting more than $1 billion in COVID relief, more than any major district in the country. Around Metro Detroit, 5 counties have made masks mandatory in K-12 schools for hundreds of thousands of students, as cases have been on the rise. Cases across the state nearly 10 times higher than they were when schools let out for the summer. Back to school with COVID as a classmate once again. And those 5 counties with that mask mandate are Wayne, Oakland, Genesee, Ingham, and Washtenaw counties. But on school buses, every student will have to wear a mask. That is a federal order right now. Now, coming up at 6, we'll talk about the other national impacts, including a bus driver shortage, a substitute teacher shortage, and a school nurse shortage that's already made its way here to Metro Detroit. Back to you.
We look forward to your report at 6. Grant, thank you.
It is definitely a great night to get outside, maybe do a little grilling.
Yeah, it really is nice, and we should probably take advantage of this nice day, Paul, because it's not going to stick around. Tomorrow could be a doozy.
Yeah, 24 hours from now, things are going to be going downhill really fast. But right now, let's just soak this up. Look at this. Great shot of one of America's iconic skylines. Beautiful evening in progress. Temps in the mid-70s across the board. The wind will be settling down as we move through the evening hours. So a great evening ahead. It's also the beginning of Rosh Hashanah. So Happy New Year. Lashana Tova Tika Tevu if you are celebrating tonight. Starting off in the low 70s when you head to services, 60s when you head home from services tonight, but a dry evening with clear skies. Now tomorrow, we have this we're going to have to deal with. This is going to be not just some scattered stuff. This is going to be a solid line of severe storms coming down across the area. We're going to break this down in very, very high detail coming up in just a few minutes, guys.
All right, thank you so much, Paul. An investigation is underway after 4 men are shot outside of a roller rink on Detroit's west side.
It all happened Sunday night at the Northland Roller Rink on 8 Mile. Police say 4 men were sitting inside their cars when shots were fired. 31-year-old and a 24-year-old are in critical condition. The other victims, a 23-year-old and 20-year-old, are expected to be okay. No other details have been released at this time. A Myanmar court extends the pretrial detention of journalist Danny Fenster. The Huntington Woods native was about to board a plane back to the U.S. when he was detained on May 24th. The Myanmar regime claims Fenster spread false news and caused fear to a group of citizens as editor of the magazine Frontier Myanmar. Fenster faces up to 3 years in prison. His next trial comes on September 20th.
A pandemic safety net for many people has now come to an end this holiday weekend. The $300 weekly unemployment benefit boost expires, and it impacts nearly 9 million people. Consumer investigator Hank Winchester with more on what this means for people who are still relying on that money.
These unemployment changes are huge, and as you will see, they will affect thousands of people here in Michigan. Here's the latest information and what you need to know. A big change coming for many collecting both state and federal unemployment benefits. Here's what you need to know. The federal unemployment benefits have now expired. That affects more than 450,000 Michiganders, and they will be losing roughly $300 weekly. State of Michigan and UIA saying they're focusing on resolving state-related issues to make sure those who qualify get the money owed to them. Many collecting state benefits have been frustrated with the system, the website crashing, payment problems, and a host of other issues. Lawmakers in Lansing tell me they're working to fix those issues and want you to know they're here for you.
So I'm saying we're working on making the problems better. Please continue to reach out to us and give us a chance to get it right.
Right now, I have no confidence in the agency. I think the people of Michigan have no confidence in the agency. But don't give up just yet. Reach out to your legislator. Hopefully, they're able to help. Sometimes our offices are able to help in a way that they can't.
The state UIA director releasing this statement, quote, "We want to make sure Michiganders who have been receiving these temporary benefits are aware of the other resources available to help them get back on their feet and find new employment opportunities." And UIA does have programs in place to help those looking for work find opportunities that may be available across the state. I have more information for you right on the Help Me Hank page at clickondetroit.com. We're here in Detroit. Hank Winchester. Help Me Hank.
Okay, Hank, thank you. We are learning more about Moderna's plans for a COVID-19 booster shot. Yesterday, Dr. Anthony Fauci said the U.S. will likely start to distribute Pfizer's booster shots during the week of September 20th, but the rollout for Moderna's vaccine could be delayed. The Biden administration announced plans to offer third doses to people who received Pfizer and Moderna shots, pending approval from public health officials. Meanwhile, regulators have not announced plans for a J&J booster. 2 vaccinated members of the Detroit Tigers have contracted COVID-19.
Tigers manager A.J. Hinch now says reliever Joe Jimenez and bench coach Joe Lombard both tested positive for the virus. The 2 will now have to quarantine for at least 10 days. Also, coaches Chris Fetter, Josh Paul, and bullpen catcher Jeremy Carroll will also be pulled from the team for contract tracing. No word on who's replacing Jimenez. The Tigers do play, though, tomorrow against Pittsburgh. We have much more ahead here at 5 on this Labor Day.
Let's check in with Nick.
In the evacuation zone in Flat Rock, there is a school that would be starting tomorrow, but somehow they're still going to start in person. I'll show you how.
Okay, Nick, and it may be an unknown danger in your home. What the majority of people say they don't do in a new survey, that it sent hundreds of thousands of children to the ER over the last 3 decades. Here's Kim.
Candles and flowers outside of this Corktown staple to honor the late owner who passed away unexpectedly over the weekend. I spoke with members of the Corktown community about how devastating his loss is.